Alright, I tried this recording once before, and I got too heated, so it was messing with my thoughts. So now I'm a little calmer. Still angry, but calmer. What the hell, Ubisoft? We had the Testing Grounds Part 2, where it adjusted all those crazy ass numbers that you guys threw out and thought made sense. We got feedback from the community, we got feedback from the competitive players, and we came to a consensus, and it seemed like we had a generally good grasp on the direction this game needed to go. The damage numbers were okay. Everybody was happy with lower damage numbers. The offensive meta actually seemed to be coming into like fruition here. And then you throw this at us. You made it seem like our opinions mattered when we said what felt good, what was right, what needed changed. If everybody agrees, with a handful of outliers that didn't like the Testing Grounds Part 2 too much, why wouldn't you listen to the majority here? Because it seemed like everything was going in the right direction there. And you guys took 20 steps back and made the game feel so much worse than it was. And I'm the person that always tries to look for, the silver lining, the positive, like in the negative situation, and give the game developers the benefit of the doubt. But this is garbage. You've turned For Honor into a dumpster fire, and you're pouring gasoline on it with these updates. You guys need to do a hot fix, like, immediately. So, I'm not going to just spew number values at you. I'm just going to give a few examples on why I'm so upset at what you did to my poor girl Peacekeeper and so many other heroes in this game. This was supposed to be a chance to make every hero fun to play and viable. All you guys did was throw every hero in this weird mixer and just took out the clump that came out damage value wise. And things don't make sense because not all heroes are created equal. We have heroes that, they need the light attack. They need the light attack to get into their mix-ups. How can you do mix-ups if they're winded by the time you get halfway through a chain for very, very minimal damage? This all seems like a giant Jormungandr buff with everybody just getting out of stamina left and right. Okay, let's get into the actual examples here because I'm starting to get annoyed again. All right, let's do that. So, starting off with my very first issue, we have Peacekeeper's dodge attack. A whopping 5 damage, but 12 stamina. Now you might be thinking, I'll just add the deep gouge on it. It's a great idea, let's do that. So do that. That is another 12 stamina added on for an extra 11 damage. 1 direct and 10 bleed. That takes almost 8.5 seconds for that bleed to go through. It is no way, shape, or form viable in any fast-paced fight. Especially with heroes that thrive on bashes and, guard breaks and punishes. Like, it doesn't hold a candle to the damage that some heroes can play out right now. And it's upsetting. But her dodge forward heavy does 18 direct damage. How can you... It's the same attack, just in a different direction. How can you just even more than triple the damage value? It doesn't make sense. Still costs 24 stamina damage, or stamina cost to, go through that, which I guess with that damage trade-off, that stamina cost makes sense. But here's the catch. Ubisoft destroyed light attacks. Let's put together an example of PK's dagger cancel. Now, I'm going to use the dagger cancel, and then I'm going to mash R1 to get out the light attack as fast as possible. That's how slow it is. I basically have time to like the stance resets, and then Peacekeeper has to think about what she has to do. And in that moment, anybody that I'm fighting has the chance to throw out an attack. Now, if you know Peacekeeper, Deep Gouge is a light attack, which means every end of a heavy attack that you want to throw that Deep Gouge on, any dodge attack that you throw that Deep Gouge on, you are automatically at a frame disadvantage. This puts Peacekeeper so much below any other hero in this game, not only with damage values, because I can whittle a person down. I can do that. I don't care, like, direct damage values. If it's a fair fight and I can, win the neutral game and get back into, the offensive pressure, but if every light attack I throw, I then have to wait, that's not it, Chief. And that needs some looking at. So, so let's talk about this little thing that I accidentally found. If you're out of lock, not locked onto your target, and you hit him with a heavy, that's 29 damage. The heavy finisher is 35 damage. But if we're locked on, our heavy finisher only does 24 damage. How does that make sense? It's the same attack. It doesn't make sense at all. How is an unlocked attack, when you're not focusing on a person, do more damage? And I just found that out, but just by accident. I accidentally hit Berserker while I was just, I bumped my controller. Alright, let's get into PK zone attack now. We all know that they slowed it down to 500 MS, which is pretty much equal with every hero zone attack right now, save for a few that are a little slower. I don't know if there are any slower ones, but they're all considered heavy zone attacks. So if they get parried, you only get the light punish. Peacekeepers is a light attack. So if they parry it, they get a light parry punish, which is so much more now because they just rocketed heavy damage through the roof for some heroes. That's not even getting into the stamina cost. Say you get off the zone and you want to go for a dagger cancel. That's 62 stamina. That is over half of your stamina bar for one attack. It's not feasible or viable in any sort of fight. It's supposed to be, your opponent's looking at your guard and all of a sudden an attack comes from a different side. Like, it's supposed to catch them off guard. But if it's slow and just drains you, it's putting you at a huge disadvantage. And that's not even getting in. The dagger cancel, it slows you down so you can't start your next chain. I could go on forever and bring up every example of why I'm upset about this, but it just goes down to the fact that all of our feedback that they clamored for, they begged us to give feedback on the testing grounds, and it was a really good idea. But why would you change what we had agreed on? That we all cohesively said, yes, this is a good step, and then go off in another direction without even doing another testing grounds. These values should have been tested by players, not devs that sit down for 15 minutes, smack each other around without fighting back, not in real fights. So Ubisoft, if you see this, I doubt you will because I'm a pretty small channel, take heed and fix this fast because people are dropping like flies. And I'm going to be one of them. I love this game. I have played this game for the... it's just... This is the first game that I've, grown to be able to have a voice in. Even if it's a small voice, it's a voice. And a game that I feel comfortable speaking out against when I feel that something is wrong. And something is wrong here. So, go back to the drawing board. Figure out what happened. Put in the effort. And get your game back on top. Because there is no other game like this in the world. That is why people will still come back to this game, no matter how bad it is at the moment. Give it the love it deserves. Because the players have given it all the love and all the frustration and still stuck by it. I just want this to be cared about. Because right now, the game is not fun to play. That's all I have to say on the topic. I'm sure other For Honor YouTubers with much more articulation and, you know, they'll take better notes and they'll be able to really dive deep into the problems here. But this is just what I'm feeling. So, take it with a grain of salt. Form your own opinion. Play the game. Decide for yourself. But I'm just here to show my feelings on it. I may have been a little long-winded here, but I feel like it had to be done. Godspeed, For Honor. Godspeed.